She leaned across the counter and whispered something that made the whole cafe go silent. I felt every eye turn toward me, and in that moment, I knew my life was about to change. My name is Aaliyah Brooks. I'm a Black woman born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland, with calloused hands from working 2 jobs and a heart full of dreams that never quite learned how to quit. Every morning before sunrise, I walked into Harbor Beam Cafe, tying my apron tight and telling myself, just get through today. Not because I hated my job, but because lately it felt like the world hated me. The customers would smile at my coworkers, then frown when I stepped forward. Some spoke slower to me, like I couldn't understand plain English. Others would say, "No, I asked for the other girl." I was saving every tip for one thing, nursing school. One step closer to a future where I wouldn't have to beg for respect. That morning, the cafe was packed. Rain streaked down the windows. The espresso machine hissed like it was tired of breathing. I took an order from a woman in a beige trench coat. She looked at my name tag. "Aaliyah, can you spell that?" I smiled. Aliyh. She raised an eyebrow. "Interesting." Then she slid her credit card toward me and said, "I don't want you handling this. You people always mess things up." The words hit me harder than the rain outside. I froze. Behind me, Megan, a white coworker who started after me, was wiping cups. The woman pointed at her. "I want her to ring me up." I swallowed my pride and stepped aside. Megan looked uncomfortable, but she took the order anyway. This kept happening. It wasn't just one moment. It was 100 tiny cuts I carried in silence. A man once slid his cup back to me and said, "No offense, but can someone else remake this?" even though I had followed the recipe perfectly. Another woman clutched her purse tighter when I walked by, like my skin itself was a warning sign. Some days I caught customers whispering, looking at me, then at the register, then back at me like they were calculating something dangerous. I started to feel smaller behind the counter, like I was shrinking inside my own body just to survive. On my break, I would sit in the tiny storage room, surrounded by boxes of sugar and paper cups, and stare at my phone at photos of my mother smiling in her nurse's uniform. She used to tell me, "Baby, the world will try to make you feel like you're nothing. Don't you ever believe it." But standing in that cafe, being treated like I didn't belong, I could feel doubt crawling into my chest. I wasn't asking for special treatment. I just wanted to be treated like a human being, like my hands weren't dangerous, like my voice wasn't a problem, like my presence wasn't something to be tolerated. And the worst part, I still showed up every day, smiled every shift, said, "Have a nice day," to people who didn't even see me. People avoid me. Whispers, glances, like I was invisible, or worse, suspicious. And then the manager, Carla, walked over. She didn't ask what happened. She just said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Aaliyah, maybe you should stick to cleaning tables. Some customers feel more comfortable that way." The cafe went quiet. I felt my chest burn. Cleaning tables? I was the most experienced worker there. But I nodded, because Black women learn early. If you speak up, you're difficult. If you stay quiet, you disappear. 10 minutes later, I was wiping crumbs off a table when I heard it. The same woman from earlier whispered to Carla near the register, "I don't feel safe with her around the money." Safe. Carla glanced at me, then said something that made my knees go weak. "She's had complaints before. I'll take care of it." She turned to me. "Aaliyah, step into the office." Every head in the cafe turned. I walked back, heart pounding. Carla crossed her arms. "Someone says you tried to overcharge them." "That's not true," I said. "You can check the system." Carla shook her head. "You've been making people uncomfortable." I think it's best if you clock out for the day. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about a mistake. In that tiny office, the air felt thick, like it was pressing down on my chest. My hands were shaking, but I kept them clenched in my apron so no one would see. I thought about every time I'd swallowed my words, every time I'd apologized for things that weren't my fault, every time I'd tried to be smaller just to keep the peace. I wanted to scream that I was tired of proving I belonged, tired of being polite in the face of disrespect. My heart wasn't just breaking, it was begging to be heard. This was about who I was. I opened my mouth to fight back, and then a calm, strong voice cut through the room. "Excuse me, I saw everything." A tall black woman in a navy blazer stood up from a corner table. She walked forward slowly. "I'm Dr. Renee Whitaker, and I've been sitting here for the last 40 minutes. She looked straight at Carla. "I watched that customer refuse Aaliyah's service. I heard the comment about you people, and I just recorded you sending her to the back." Carla's face went pale. Dr. Whitaker held up her phone. And as luck would have it, I'm a civil rights attorney. The cafe gasped. The woman in the trench coat suddenly avoided eye contact. Dr. Whitaker turned to me. "You did nothing wrong. And if they fire you for this, they'll be hearing from my office." Carla stammered. I didn't mean. Dr. Whitaker raised her hand. "You meant exactly what you said." Then something incredible happened. Customers started speaking up. She was polite to me. One man said, "I saw the whole thing." Another added, "The truth filled the room like fresh air." Carla swallowed. "Aaliyah, you don't have to clock out." I didn't move. Dr. Whitaker smiled softly at me. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it finally gets heard. I finished my shift that day with my head held higher. 2 weeks later, Carla was gone. The cafe issued a formal apology, and Dr. Whitaker helped me file a discrimination report. But what stayed with me wasn't the paperwork. It was the moment someone saw me, not as a stereotype, not as a threat, not as you people, but as a woman trying to build a future. That day taught me something. Racism survives in silence, but truth speaks loud. And if you're watching this feeling invisible, just know your story matters. Your dignity matters. You matter.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a comment. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Black Diaries. Your support brings us closer to our goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers.